Welcome back to the Kino Cave, and today I'm going to be bringing you something a little different. I'm bringing a video game review for Assassin's Creed Mirage. So, up front, I am not a gamer. I don't play a whole lot of games. I play games from like the Assassin's Creed series, the Batman Arkham series, Spider-Man, Uncharted, kind of the odd ones. I'm not a gamer. I'm not an expert in playing video games. I've not played a ton of video games. It's just not my thing. I think it takes up way too much of my time. It's just not for me. Movies, absolutely, hell yeah. Reading, yeah. Video games, if I want some kind of mindless fun and a decent story. That's what I come for games. I'm not an expert in it. I don't look at the specifics of it. So if you're like me and you're not really a gamer and you don't want to be listening to all this kind of like, oh, well, the stealth of this game is just a rip-off of the stealth of this game. Like, I'm just going to tell you, was the game fun for me? Did I enjoy the story? That's where I'm coming from. Nothing specific. And this isn't to take away from channels that do that, obviously. If you're more into games than I am, that's very important to you. It's just not so important to me. So if you're like me and you kind of just want a fun experience and a good story, then that's what I'm going to be talking about for the most part. With all that being said, I am a huge Assassin's Creed fan. I have loved the games since I was very small. I have an Assassin's Creed necklace, which I wear almost every day. I've got little figurines of all the characters. I've got an Apple of Eden from the movie because it was for sale and it's pretty cool. Like that movie is not great, but pretty cool, Apple of Eden. Anyway. And I own every single game and almost every single edition of every game because back when I had a PS3, I got them all on PS3. Some of them for really reasonable prices as well, considering. And then obviously when half of them nearly all of them got remastered on PS4 and PS5, I had to get those as well because I'm kind of done with the PS3. Like, my PS3 is old, it's busted. It's not great. I use it for playing movies and that's about it. Also, Ubisoft. If anybody who works at Ubisoft is watching this video, why aren't you remaking Assassin's Creed, the original Assassin's Creed, for the PS5? Because that would go so hard and it would sell really well. You remastered Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Rogue, two games that no one gives a shit about except for people like me. Why don't you just remake the first Assassin's Creed, like, from the ground up? What's the deal? Tell me. Fucking. It's the one game that's not on the PS4 or 5. Jeez. I own and I've played all the Assassin's Creed games. I love these video games. I know that they're not for everybody. I know that by gamer standards it's all shit and it's the same game over and over again. Shut the fuck up. I like my thing, okay? It's the stupid trashy thing that I like and I will buy every game as it comes out because that's just the way I am. I'm too in deep into this world. It's like a soap opera. Like, I'm so far in that, like, you can't, I can't not play every game now. The main thing for me with Assassin's Creed is my brother introduced me to these games when I was really, really young. Too young, probably. And I used to play Assassin's Creed 2, and I wasn't interested in anything else except for the parkour. Like, I wanted to climb buildings, I wanted to jump off of them and land in the haystacks and all that. So it's also like a memory thing for me that, it's really sentimental for me, and I still play Assassin's Creed 2 and just get that warm, fuzzy feeling playing it for the first time in my brother's bedroom while he watched me probably suck at the game. By the way, if you're watching this video, hey bro, I hope you're enjoying the game. So, when Assassin's Creed Mirage was getting like its first trailer and stuff, I was really skeptical. I was kind of over Assassin's Creed at that point because Odyssey really disappointed me. And Valhalla, I didn't even finish Valhalla. Like, I played like a couple of hours of it and I just couldn't get into it. It was so far divorced from what the games were back in like the days of like AC2 and Black Flag that I just had no real interest. But when the trailer for Mirage came out and I saw, oh, you're actually playing as an assassin this time, and there's all these callbacks to previous games and stuff, I'm like, okay, this could be a return to form. What kind of, in the end, persuaded me to get this game largely was the price. I genuinely do think games have gotten too expensive now. Like, the recent Spider-Man game that came out was like 80 quid. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. I'm not, like, I love the first Spider-Man and I like Miles Morales, but I'm not paying 80 quid for a game that may or may not be shit. So, but when Mirage came out and it was like when it said like pre-order for €50, I was like, okay, that's reasonable. And so I did. So, bottom line, I had a really fun time with this game. It's short, it's cheerful, it's small, but I like small. That's what she said. I don't care like about big sprawling open world RPG shit or any of that. Like, I like a small scale game with a short, easy story that, not easy as in the gameplay, but easy as in like you just play through the story and then you do a few side objectives and that really flesh out the world and stuff. And that's about it. Like, I don't need a giant map that basically begs you to fast travel to every location and endless collectibles and a 20-hour story. Like, I love The Last of Us and that's a pretty long game, but that is just beginning of story to end of story, and that's fine. And Uncharted is the same way. But especially if it's an open world game, I don't need a 20-hour story and then like 200 hours of extra shit just to justify the price. I would much prefer a cheaper, smaller, compacted game that I can have fun with for like 3 weeks, and then I'm done. And then I can come back to it like after a couple of years and play it again for 3 weeks. That's all I need in a video game, and luckily that's what Assassin's Creed Mirage was. So for me, Basim started out as a very interesting character. He's kind of a classic Assassin's Creed character, a street thief who joins the assassins and finds a greater purpose in life. It's the classic kind of Assassin's Creed protagonist journey, and I'm fine with it. If it ain't broke, don't bother fixing it, because they tried to and it didn't work. From the first couple of hours into the game, I instantly just felt back in the world of Assassin's Creed. I was back to where I was when I was far too young climbing buildings in Assassin's Creed 2. It just felt so much like a return to form for me, because again, I don't need every game to be groundbreaking. I don't need them to reinvent the wheel with every game. I just want to explore a different historical location every time. I don't need the gameplay to be entirely different. I don't need everything to be innovative. It works. The parkour works. The assassinations work. Let me just do that in a different historical city each time, and I'm good. And then just give me a compelling story after that. So this just gave me the feeling of being at home in the Assassin's Creed world. And that's not a feeling I've had since Assassin's Creed Origins, like the ending of Assassin's Creed Origins, when Bayek sets up the hidden ones, and in that sweet DLC, which is pretty cool. I haven't 2 games I've released since then that just didn't give me the feeling of being an assassin and running through these sprawling streets and performing assassinations, pickpocketing people, and just being a blade in the crowd. It just felt so good to finally wear a decent set of Assassin's Creed robes, not like a random Viking thing with a hood, maybe. Not shitty Assassin's Creed Odyssey, just random Spartan shit. No, you were wearing assassin's robes with the little peak thing in the middle of the hood, and you wore the hidden blade in the right fucking place. Oh my god. This is how far we've come in the Assassin's Creed franchise, that I'm asking the protagonist to wear the hidden blade on the right part of his arm. Because in Odyssey there was no hidden blade because it hadn't been invented yet, and you had to pay for a fucking DLC to get a hidden blade, which I didn't buy. And then in Valhalla he wears it on the wrong fucking side of his arm. So I can't believe, I'm so happy that Basim wears it the right way around and actually uses the hidden blade properly, because we've not had that since Assassin's Creed Origins either. 2017 that game came out. In 6 years we haven't had an Assassin's Creed game where he wears the hidden blade properly. So I guess first I'll just touch on the stealth and combat, which again, I'm not a gamer, I don't know a whole lot about this, so I'm just going to tell you what I think of it from a very basic level of knowing. So yeah, the stealth was fun. Again, a real return to form. This film, fucking hell. Okay. This game puts a huge focus on stealth. Like, combat is not great, and also, like, really tough if you're, like, playing it on, like, the hardest difficulty and stuff. The stealth, though, is brilliant. Getting to go in, getting to plan your attacks, and having multiple options, and again, also just, the feeling of playing through, getting a cutscene, and then just having it come up like, assassinate this person, and I'm like, oh shit, this is an Assassin's Creed game, this is awesome. You get to go in, you get to plan how you get in, you got a couple of options to kind of get in there, and you can, talk to people and create distractions and stuff like that, and, force your enemy to come out of wherever he's hiding and stuff like that, and you get to come down and just assassinate him, and then you get those cutscenes and stuff, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the stealth is really good, and in the side missions and stuff as well, the stealth is also just really fun and gives you interesting tasks. And again, you have multiple options to kind of get in to where you want to be to assassinate someone. You can be as kind of simple with it or as elaborate as you want to be with it, and again, that's just what I want in an Assassin's Creed game. And this is kind of in the same realm of the stealth, but pickpocketing is also really fun. I really liked kind of going around getting really good at the pickpocketing. Yeah, it's simple. It's basically just a quick time event. Like, the line goes within the, like, 2 centimeters on the bar, and you have to click it in the right place. But, it was a lot of fun. It added a bit of challenge to pickpocketing, and again, this game kind of focuses on you as, like, being a thief, so it makes sense that the pickpocketing would have its own kind of element to it. And, sometimes it was really hard and sometimes it wasn't, and the more kind of skills you get, the easier it is to pickpocket, like, lower level stuff. And yeah, it was just really fun, really interesting, and you kind of do have to do it in order to kind of progress further. Not necessarily in the story, like, you can go through the story and not do that, but you kind of have to if you want to start getting upgrades for your gear and your costumes and things. So, the city of Baghdad. I'm so happy that we got an Assassin's Creed game where it's just a city. It's not just endless desert, it's not endless fields and, just endless plains of Greece. It's not just dreary fucking, like, 7th century England or whatever it is, and you just, like, it's just fields forever. And again, like, it's just begging you to do the fast travel. Like, I didn't use fast travel once in Assassin's Creed Mirage because it was just so fun parkouring through Baghdad. And, it's nothing new. Like, I've heard people say, well, the parkour isn't, like, anything special or new or anything like that. But I don't give a shit. Like, it's fun. It's fun to just run through the city streets and find fun and cool and interesting ways to parkour around. And that's all I want. I'm a simple man. And the overall art direction in the game is great. Basim's robes are pretty cool. Although, to be honest, I didn't love the headpiece. It kind of looks like Basim is being... It feels like Basim is being, like, squished into his hood because it's got, like, so many layers. I actually ended up going with his Master Assassin outfit, I think it was, as, like, the kind of main one. And then I really liked his Valhalla costume as well. And there's a couple of others, which I'll get into in a sec. But, yeah, like, his main set of robes, they're pretty cool. And I love the idea that you have a talisman on the back and that you can get better looking talismans as you go up through the ranks of the Assassin Order. But, yeah, I don't know. I like the white and blue combination. We haven't had that since, like, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And we haven't had it, like, prominently since Assassin's Creed 3. But I like the blue and white combination, but the overall design of it could have been better. And again, obviously it was better because his Master Assassin outfit is probably my favorite original set of robes in the game. I also just love, in terms of the art department, that, like, we're getting closer and closer to Altair's outfits because, it takes place in, like, the 6th or 7th century, and Assassin's Creed, like, original is it takes place during the Crusades, so, like, there's not that much, like, there's only a couple of centuries of a difference, so I like that we're getting very, very close to what Altair's robes are going to look like. Getting into the other robes, of course you got Altair's robes because every Assassin's Creed game has Altair's robes, and you know what, they look pretty fucking awesome. so I don't mind it one bit. But one thing that I'm so happy about is that if you have the Ubisoft like app, I think, or a Ubisoft account, which I do because I guess I got it when I was like a teenager, you can like do challenges in the game to get points, and when you get enough like points or coins, you can unlock Ezio's Assassin's Creed Revelations robes. These robes are not available in any game except for Assassin's Creed Revelations until now. You can get them in this game and they look fucking awesome. I always loved Ezio's robes from Revelations. Yeah, they're not his best robes. It's not his best look. But I love them anyway. I love the Ezio robes from Assassin's Creed Revelations. I love the greyish black. I love how it makes him look old and jaded. And you better fucking believe that I unlocked that shit as soon as possible. Got it. Like fucking equipped them in the game and just had Basim run around wearing Ezio's robes from Revelations. Holy shit, the respect for Assassin's Creed Revelations in this game. It makes me so happy. One more non-spoiler aspect of Assassin's Creed Mirage is the story. Obviously I can't get into it too much, but the story for this game is pretty weak. And I think that's largely to do with the fact that this was originally supposed to be a game that was like just a DLC for Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and they decided to push it into being a full game. The story starts out great. It really does. I loved Basim like wanting to be a part of the order, and like he's not being pushed into the order. He actively wants this to happen for him. You get a great kind of start to his story and he's getting haunted by these visions and stuff. But then you get into the middle and it really just meanders and there's no character development in the middle of the story. And then you get to the end, and the ending is good, like, in itself, but I didn't really feel anything, you know? Okay, now I'm getting into spoilers for the story of Assassin's Creed Mirage, so if you don't want any spoilers, then click off the video. If you don't care, or if you've already played the game, then keep going to hear my thoughts. I liked the setup of Basim being haunted by the genie, and how he's kind of struggling with this kind of other part of himself, like this hidden kind of monster inside him that he's not sure about and he doesn't quite understand it. But they don't do anything with it in the middle. He just keeps getting visions of the genie whenever he assassinates a high profile target, and I'm just left thinking, like, why are we doing this? There's like no development here. And then at the end it's just kind of explained away. And I'm guessing it has something to do with him being like a god or something, or like a reincarnation of a god in Valhalla, which is stupid anyway, but like, I don't know. It was set up really well and then it just does nothing, and then it's not explained very well in the end. And like his best friend, like he had like a Joker moment where like his best friend turned out to not be real, which is just, I had to laugh when it happened because I was like, holy shit, this is Joker. This is the plot of Joker. It was really weird, and I don't know. It didn't gel with me at all. The twist also of Roshan being like betraying him, it felt very Assassin's Creed 1, and it feels like it was just there to be very Assassin's Creed 1, because I didn't like why is it happening? Like, there's very little setup for it, and it just kind of happens, and that's it. I just didn't understand why. Like, what's the real kind of story reason for it to happen? It kind of just happens so that there could be a twist. Another thing that was just confusing for me is that Roshan, it's kind of revealed at the end that Roshan's last name is Lahad, which is Altair's last name. But then again, Lahad was a name that Altair chose because his dad was killed. So I'm wondering, like, are they trying to establish like a relationship? Like, is Roshan supposed to be an ancestor to Altair? I don't know. Like, they don't explore it very well, and I feel like if they're kind of like, oh, like in the next game we'll like explain this further, I'm like, I don't want, go away with that shit. Like, you know, it's just it's very strange to me, like, that her name is Roshan Lahad, and I'm like, are you trying to establish a relationship with Altair? And if you are, why aren't you going further with that? I feel like a very easy fix for the story of this game is just all these story beats that they're trying to hit. they should have explored them more in the middle of the game. Because again, really great start, solid ending, but left wanting. And then the middle is just whatever. It's just doing random stuff, meeting random people, doing assassinations, and there's very little character development actually happening for any of these characters. It's just really strange to me, and I'm not sure why they didn't just go, every time Basim assassinates someone, have a nice long cutscene that develops all these characters a little further to make the ending feel more like satisfying. Getting to the end of this review, I think that this was a solid entry into the series and definitely a return to form in terms of gameplay and art direction. And I think whatever the next game is that they come out with, I think there's rumors that it's going to be set in like feudal Japan or something like that, which in fairness they've been talking about that for years, and they should do it. Like, absolutely, like, it's amazing that we haven't had an Assassin's Creed game set in either China or Japan, like, because, you know, those fucking countries have some rich history and really interesting art design and stuff, like, through the centuries. So I absolutely think that they should set an Assassin's Creed game there instead of just like random Middle Eastern country. Like, you know, look, Baghdad was a really cool city to explore, but we've had a lot of Assassin's Creed games that are just kind of set in like the Middle East. So it would be nice if we just went a little bit further east, and we'll go into more kind of like, you know, the countries like China and Japan, you know, those with really rich histories and really incredible I don't know what you call it. Like, the name is escaping me. Like, you know, architecture and art in them. So I absolutely think they should do that. And I think if the next game has a much more solid story with all the same kind of return to form aspects, the focus on stealth, the actual like Assassin's Creed part of it where they're assassins with hidden blades, wearing the robes, doing all that, I think we could see a definite return to form for the franchise, for fans anyway. I know that, like, if you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed, you've probably given up on this series of games long ago. But for people like me who love the game series and is probably going to go out and buy the next one anyway, you know, I think they should keep going in the direction they're going and just craft a better story this time. Final few thoughts. One thing, thank God there's no modern day plot. Can we do away with that now? Can we be done? Can we be done now? There was no modern day plot in this game, and I didn't miss it one fucking bit. That should have died with Desmond Miles, and we should have just had, oh, you're just a random fucking assassin initiate going through the Animus and learning how to be an assassin. Like, just have that at the very beginning. Run through the whole game as an assassin, and at the very end, you can just have like a short cutscene just being like, yeah, you're ready to be an assassin now, or whatever, like in the modern day. Like, that's basically what Assassin's Creed Unity did, and it was fine. Like, one cutscene at the start and one cutscene at the end, and that was it. And we were good with that. So can we just do that, please? If you're an Assassin's Creed fan, then I think it's definitely worth buying this game. I would absolutely recommend it. Again, if you're a fan. I think if you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed, then it's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to make you fall back in. It's not going to make you fall in love with this franchise or anything. So, absolutely go out and buy it if you're a fan. I think it's, you know, nice and small scale and cheap. You know, the story's a bit of a bummer, but it's okay. If you just want to run around Baghdad as a hidden one, doing assassinations, doing some assassin shit, then this game is good for you. With all of that being said, subscribe to the Kino Cave for more talk about films, books, games, and anything else that I feel like talking about. Anything media related, basically. There'll surely be more Assassin's Creed videos to come in the future, so stick around for that. Please leave a like on the video, it really does help out. Leave a comment, the engagement really does help out as well. And please, please, please subscribe to see more of me talking about stuff.